Wake the f up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
These were all of the things that was being said and was attached to CD Projekt Red. All it took was for this game to come out and be the travesty that it was. And all that talk went away real quick. I gave her, you see? Way too... 4 years later. 4 years later. And I could say that I finally gave this game a second chance and also beat all of that Cyberpunk 2077, my brothers and sisters. Now, as we all remember, 4 years ago, back in 2020, this was one of the most hyped games, quite frankly, I've seen of all time. Suckers was saying that CD Projekt Red was gonna come and change the industry, and this game, we've never seen nothing like this game. And I remember people were saying that CD Projekt Red was the best developer in the game. Now, this is all based off of one title. Witcher 3. It was all based off of one title. These were all of the things that was being said and was attached to CD Projekt Red. All it took was for this game to come out and be the travesty that it was. And all that talk went away real quick. This game was broken and had bugs beyond belief. I mean, we know the story of Cyberpunk 2077. I feel like CD Projekt Red over the past 4 years, they've kind of been rebuilding themselves back up and getting people to, you know, kind of forgive them for what, you know, how Cyberpunk was when it first came out. But I decided, I think late last year, I went back into this game and I'm like, you know what, now that we on next gen, I'm gonna give this game a solid shot. I kept on hearing how the game is, you know, changed a lot, and they fixed a lot of things and brought in new content with the Phantom Liberty DLC. Cyberpunk 2077, is it fixed, and is it actually a good game?
Yesterday's body count lottery rounded out to a solid and sturdy 30. 10 out of Haywood, thanks to unabated gang wars. One officer down, so I guess you're all screwed, cause the NCPD will not let that go. Got another blackout in Santo Domingo. Netrunners are at it again, poking holes in the power grid. While over in Westbrook, trauma teams.
So why does freaking the intro never get old? Now, like I said, I heard that this game had got a complete overhaul from the last time I played it. Apparently, since they dropped the game back in 2020, they have spent the next 4 years fixing this game, fixing the game, and it was a completely different game. And I can say that is true. This game has a lot of improvements if the last time you played this game was back in 2020. Both from a graphical standpoint, this game looks amazing now. I mean, it probably always looked good on PC, but especially on consoles now, the bugs. There is nowhere near as much bugs in this game as it once was. Now, I will say there are still bugs in this game. I will also say when I was playing this game, I did experience a crash here or there. Like, it just did happen. I'm not going to act like it didn't. Who died? You made me freaking crash, Brandon Lorian. Not only did you just make me crash, holy crap, you just made the game crash too. Matter of fact, I'm taking that damn my You will see it at times in this game, but it doesn't affect the whole experience, I feel like, as it once did 4 years ago. The character creation of V, which is the main character of this game, I've heard from some people that said that it's best to play this game with a female V because the voice actor for the female is better than it is for the male. I didn't feel like the voice actor for male V was bad. Like, I thought the voice acting period in this game was good. I think it's interesting because this is one of the games to where you never see the main character like at all in this game unless you like look at yourself in the mirror or towards the very end of the game where they actually like show him like in a cutscene. But outside of that, you never really see the main character of this game unless you're customizing them. You know, the game is told from a first-person lens, but the characters of this game, Johnny Silverhand, which is played by Keanu Reeves, he was like the whole selling point, I feel like, of this game at one point. Again, I'm not gonna get too deep into it and talk about spoilers because some people might want to revisit this game just like Aya did, but he's a part of you in this game. Like, he is always there with you in this game, and it's this constant like back and forth between your character and his. And yeah, I mean, I've always said that Keanu, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, at least today, he is not the best actor, you know, in the world, because he has like a very just monotone, one emotion type of acting that he does both in his movies and voice acting. But it works in this game. It'll works in this game with just the way he is. And yeah, I thought Johnny in this game was very good, and he has a lot of growth and development in this game that you can appreciate. Victor, who I loved, you got Judy in this game, I loved the Arasakas and how they essentially run Night City with like all the power that they have over it, and you know, all how their family is like this big corporation and they pretty much own everything. Like, they are Night City essentially. Got Jackie, I love Jackie, Misty, my baby Panam.
Holla at you, baby, holla at you.
You can have relationships with characters in this game, so you know that I was with Panam in this game. You know that. I tried to get with a Judy at one point, but it just wasn't going nowhere, so I moved on. So, and you do start to care about all these characters that you're coming across. They are a part of your life. You actually feel like you care about them. A lot of games like this, to where you got so much stuff going on, you might not really care about all these different characters in the game because you don't really feel attached to the world like that. That's not an issue in this game. This has been one of the best takes that I've seen from a game that has similar aspects to GTA and just the way the gameplay is, and you know, the world of Night City and the people and the fact that you can buy cars and steal cars from people and get chased by cops and all that. Like, a lot of times when like games kind of have that GTA thing to it, it's just always like falls so short of the stick. It's like, man, this junk just trying to be a clone of GTA. This game, it feels like its own game. The world of Night City, the people of Night City, all of the different people and groups and factions that you meet.
Hey, yo, man, you trying to rip us off? I got 4 bags missing here.
That's the cut I got off Pablo. Don't like it? Take it up with him.
I ain't dealing with Pablo. I'm dealing with you. That means you and me got a problem. Now, I could paint the sidewalk with your guts, but that wouldn't get me what I'm owed.
Oh, you want to try? Go on, son.
Damn! Yo, this world is actually hilarious. A lot of the times when you have a game like this, it's tough to make the world feel alive. And that's why I feel like a lot of games like this, when it does have aspects that is similar to GTA, that's where they fall short. Just the world doesn't feel alive, the characters don't really feel alive, and it just falls short of that stick when it's compared to GTA. In Cyberpunk, that's not the case. The world of Night City has its own personality. I mean, the junk feel like Gotham. It literally feel like a freaking futuristic a freaking Gotham City with all this crime going on, people dying on corners, you're freaking driving throughout the streets and you see freaking cops just shooting us. See cops just shooting the civilians. Bounties are being put on your head, and like you'll be just like walking down the street, and then all of a sudden 2 or 3 cars will just pull up. Suckers will get out and just just start shooting at you. The game just feels like there's a lot going on. It feels authentic. It feels like, you know, the city lives on with or without you playing the game. Like, people are doing their own things. You see freaking meth heads and crackheads on like the corner freaking geeking out on like the world just feels alive. I don't know what else I don't know what else to say. And that is one of the reasons why I feel like when you have a game like this, that's one of the most important things to do, because if the world doesn't feel alive when you have an open world game like this, it's not going to be perceived well by gamers. So that is probably one. I didn't even get to the gameplay yet, but just the world of Night City, that is probably one of the best things that I really enjoyed about playing this game. Oh, man, this game, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm thinking of... Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about...
We back on Cyberpunk, man. Are you kidding me? The gameplay in Cyberpunk 2077 has so many aspects and layers to it because there's so many different ways that you can play this game. You can play this game like guns blazing. You can play this game by being a hacker. You can play this game essentially as a freaking samurai and have a whole sword and deflect bullets and be slicing off heads and arms and legs and all that stuff. You could play this game stealthily. There's so many different ways to play this game and so many different builds and styles that you can do. The upgrade system. This is another thing that has been changed, and they have added upon many of things and unlockables and skills and perks that you can add to your arms, your legs, your torso, your head, your eyes, you know, all the unlocks that you can do. And because I think before in 2020, they didn't have the relic skill tree. That is something that they added to this game to have even more skills and abilities to use at your disposal. The gunplay felt good in this game. There's so many different weapons that you can find, and you can upgrade your guns and stuff like that. I ain't gonna lie, as soon as I got Johnny's gun in this game, I didn't care about nothing. His freaking pistol is just amazing, but the sniping felt good in this game. Just the shooting mechanics in this game felt really good. And I think that that was very impressive because CD Projekt Red has never really done a game like this, I don't believe. So for them to nail like the gunplay that down pat, when the last game they did prior to this was the freaking Witcher, I was like, yo, like the way when you mix in the gunplay with the hacking and all the different things that you can do, and then using your freaking sword and all these different weapons, the combat in this game feels really good. And it gets really fun as you progress in the game and upgrade things, and you can do these different moves and stuff like that. That's when it really starts to open up. The melee combat, however, it doesn't feel bad, but I also feel like that was kind of one of the weaker aspects of this game. Because sometimes, like, when you're in like a hand-to-hand fight, because there's a lot of stuff like that going on too, to where you could do these side missions and like go against like boxers and stuff like that. And the melee combat, it doesn't feel bad, but it does feel like kind of, I don't know if I'll say wonky, but it's something that you have to get used to. The bosses in this game and the what do they call them? The psycho rippers or something like that. Like all those like the crazy people of Night Sea that's completely lost their minds and they have powers and stuff like that. Those people and like the bosses in this game, they're a fun. They're a fun to do, and they got like different powers and things that you have to take into account based on how you want to approach them. That Atom Smasher boss fight in this game, I wish that they had more bosses that played like that, because that actually felt like a boss fight. Like that was probably hands down my favorite boss fight of this game. I just love the way the moves that he was doing, the way you had to fight him, the music that was playing in the background, all that stuff. Like if they had all the boss fights kind of feel like that, this game probably would have been a 10 out of freaking 10. But the only thing that I will say that I don't know how they improved on all this different stuff, but somehow, some way, this was ignored. The driving in this game, the driving mechanics in this game.
That shit is a 2-pack of ass.
I felt like I started to get used to it towards the end, just with like just the way it is. But when you first start playing this game, the driving is so bad in this game. Like, I can't explain it. You just never feel like you got control of the car. You just always feel like you on ice while like driving in this game. But once you get used to it, or you get cars that are just have better handling in the game, then you start to get used to it. And another thing that I thought was weird, like you can be going like 150 miles per hour, but you don't really feel the speed in this game, which I feel like is weird. Like you be in cars that be going 180, 200 something miles per hour, and you don't really feel like you're going that fast. Like things aren't going by you that fast. You don't hear like the wind and like everything like zipping past you. Like it's weird. Like this game has a bad sense of how fast you're actually going. I don't know what else to say. I really don't know how else to explain it. But yeah, that is one of the aspects of this game that I feel like needs the most improvement. Again, with open world games, it is very important to have good side content and side missions in the game. Some open world games do, but a lot don't, and you don't really want to veer too far off away from just doing the main missions. I've had that experience, especially in present day gaming, with so many open world games to where I don't care about the world and or what's going on to that extent, to where I'm actually veering off doing more side missions and main quests than the actual main missions in this game. There were times where I was doing more side missions in this game and just exploring than actually doing main missions. And that's a good thing, because again, it just makes the whole entire world and experience that you get while you're playing this game that much better. So I love the side missions in this game and the side content. Not saying it's all good. There are some missions that's kind of forgettable, I guess, but the side missions will sometimes lead to like a whole nother like side story that's going on in the game, and then you meet a person like this, and then you're doing like crazy stuff within the game. And again, I love when side missions are done well, because when you do them well, I'm gonna say it again, it makes the world feel more alive, but more importantly, it makes the experience that us gamers get while playing these open world games that much more better. So now that Phantom Liberty DLC, you know I had to talk about this, right? You know it. You know I had to talk about this. Of course, because this was also the most recent update that this game had. It just got this DLC last year, and I think it won Best DLC last year. For good reason. For good reason. This DLC was great. I ain't gonna say it's the best DLC that I've played like ever, but it definitely was a good DLC, and I'm glad I purchased it and played through it. And there's still a lot of game DLCs for games that I actually enjoyed that I didn't even purchase yet, or I just haven't beaten. But I felt like I had to beat this one because I was that much engaged into playing this game at the time that I was playing it. So it does take place during like the story that's going on in this game before you get to the main ending of this game. So that's why I decided to kind of play the DLC like before I beat the main story of this game, because my viewers just instructed me that I do so. So I did that. And yeah, you guys have probably at least seen the ads. Now instead of Keanu Reeves, Idris Elba is the main character in this DLC, and he was kind of marketed as like, you know, one of the big selling points of this DLC. A lot of times to where you'll see like a celebrity in a game and it's like you just can't see no one but that celebrity, but it doesn't feel like that in this game. When you're seeing Johnny on screen, you're not saying, oh, that's just Keanu. You're saying, no, that is a character within this game. When you're seeing Reed in the DLC, you're not saying, man, this is just Idris Elba. No, this is an actual character in the game, and they feel like they're actually grounded within the world of Night City. So the missions that's going on within the DLC and all of the craziness and chaos that's going on, the bosses that they have in the DLC, the stuff that they got you doing in this DLC, the music in this DLC, the different places you visit in this DLC, and you see like a whole nother city within Night City that you didn't even know about in this DLC. Like all that stuff going on, it's done so well, and I can see why this game, well, why this DLC won Best DLC last year, because it actually is that good. And if you did play this game and you didn't play this DLC, I can highly recommend that you do play this DLC, because it is actually that good. And I did enjoy playing through the DLC, and it gives like the main story just much more the word I'm looking for, depth to the to the main story in this game, because you're playing the DLC that takes place during this game. So I am giving CyberPunk 2077, I'm giving it a 9.5. I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10. I feel like the only thing that holds this junk back from being a 10 is the driving. Like I said, and I feel like this game could have definitely had some multiplayer aspect to it. Now I actually heard that they did have plans on having some type of multiplayer aspect to this game, but because the state that this game first dropped in and all the issues it had, them suckers didn't need nothing. They didn't need no other modes for this game, taking their attention away from what you need to fix in this game. But I did hear that they did have plans on having some type of multiplayer aspect to this game. I felt like if this game had some type of like co-op or like an online multiplayer after you beat the game, this game would have been damn near flawless. Damn near, because again, the game today is totally different from what I first seen back in 2020. So now that it's actually in a good running state, I personally think this is the best game that they have ever done. At least from the games that I played from them, I enjoyed this game way more than I did the Witcher 3. I've tried to pick up and play the Witcher 3 at least 6 times, and every single time I drop the game. There's just something about the Witcher 3 that I don't like, and I think the main thing is the combat. I just never was a fan of the combat in this game. I mean, in that game. Again, if you were like me and you played this game 4 years ago and you like, this what Sucker's talking about? This is why Sucker's is saying that CD Projekt Red is the best deving of the game, man. Get this trash out my face. Get this trash out my face, because that's what I did 4 years ago and never looked back. If you like me, I would say this is the best time. Well, if you don't have nothing to play right now. I know that the Erd Tree DLC is about to drop soon, so most likely suckers ain't gonna be returned to Cyberpunk. But if there is ever a dry phase to where you don't really have nothing, nothing to play, Cyberpunk, I feel like, would be the perfect game for you to try to get back into. Get the PS5 version or the Xbox Series X version. Play on the next gen version of the game, not the last gen version, or play on PC, whatever. And yeah, I feel like if you actually give this game another shot and stick with it, you're gonna enjoy this game a lot, man. So that is my review. That is my better late than never 4 years later review of I had to pick it up from the ground, of Cyberpunk 2077. Really enjoyed this game a lot, man, and I'm excited for the future for what they do with this game. I heard that the next game that they're supposed to be doing is a Witcher 4. I guess. But I would want a sequel to this game. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And until my next video, my brothers and sisters, I'll catch y'all boys in my next one, all right?